before being traded to the Reds in 1960. He finished his Major League career in 1966 back with the Braves, but this time the franchise was located in Atlanta. Jay rang up a record of 99 wins and 91 losses with an ERA of 3.77, was one strikeout away from 1,000 for his career. The right-hander was a switch hitter and helped his own cause by hitting 2 home runs during his career, both coming in 1962 with Cincinnati. Besides being a bonus baby, Joey J is also best remembered as the first Little League player to make it all the way to the major leagues. For It Happened in Baseball, I'm Mick Kern.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
Pulled out the whole package there.
Exciting.
The Raptors are up 16.
We're just getting started. This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. It's the beginning. We just got started.
We're tired. This is the NBA. We got to push through that shit. So there's no excuses there. And, we just got to be better defensively, guard the ball better, help each other more, rebound, do those things to just get back to winning. This isn't fun. Losing games by 30, and this isn't who we are. And we can't just keep allowing this to happen. So, at some point we got to stand up and we got to put up a fight. Starting with me, solve the game better, guard better, come together and do this thing the right way. The effort got to be there.
That's the voice of Scotty Barnes, very outspoken. Postgame 2 nights ago after the Raptors were blown out at home by the Atlanta Hawks as Toronto now gets set for their final game of 2024. And they head into this tilt against the Boston Celtics in Beantown, riding the, well, certainly not the high, the low of a 10-game losing streak. And Jonesy, as I welcome folks inside the broadcast here, Eric Smith and Paul Jones with you. Happy to celebrate the final game of 2024 with you right here on the Sportsnet Radio Network. I totally respect and appreciate what Scotty Barnes is saying. And I say this in response, with all due respect, that's what I want to hear from the leader. That's what I want in terms of the accountability. But you can't just say it. You now got to do it.
Yeah.
So even if you were to lose to Boston today, you need to lose in a different way than what we've seen, I would argue, too many times in this 10-game losing streak, let alone too many times this season where it's been turnovers, it's been slow starts, it's been slow first quarters, it's been lackluster or lazy or tired or whatever. So Scotty's talking about saying, hey, we have to show the effort, we have to be better, we can't do this, we can't do that. But you know what then? You better go out and live up to those words.
Rubber's got to hit the road somewhere.
Yeah.
You've got to walk the walk. You can say all those things, but people won't remember what you say. They'll remember what you do. And with that in mind, Scotty and the Raptors have to come out. It has been, and I go back to the people that were on the, it's an ethical tank or an ethical losing. No, you think Darko wants those losses on his record? You think? I don't know. Let me look down the roster. You think Davion Mitchell cares about ping pong balls? No. Yeah. These guys are trying to win, and it's time because the last few games, you and I, we had shoes and socks and calculators out. The last 3 games, Eric, it's been what, almost 400 points? 400-plus points? And it's time now to kind of lose that stench, lose that stuff that has been having people look at you like, oh, wow, look at the Raptors, 7-25, and looking at you as bordering on irrelevant. It's an easy win when you play Toronto. You've got to change that. Now, mind you, no RJ Barrett today. Pirtle's been out. Scotty's been in and out of the lineup. Grady's out today.
Basically having out quickly for the entire season.
No.
Basically.
So it happens. I get that. But at some point, you still have to muscle up and make teams work. And I just get the feeling over the last 3 or 4 games, Eric, teams felt like they could get wins easily against Toronto. Not that they didn't have to work, but they didn't have to work for a full 48 minutes.
Now, let me ask you this. I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask anyways. I believe we're up to 14 games now for the Raptors of their losses, 14 that have been by 2 possessions or less. I think that's the number that we're sitting at right now. As we have said many times this season, I've brought this up, you've brought this up, as we often use the free throw example of, oh, you had 10 missed free throws. Well, I can't expect to get all 10. Just give me half of those. Give me 5. Well, if of those 14 very tight losses, you gave me half of those, gave me 7. And we were now talking about a team that was 14 and 18. How much different would the perception be
Totally.
from you, from me, from a lot of the fans? Hey, you're still 4 games below 500. You're still not in a playoff spot, but you are right there in the thick of things in the play-in, which is where I thought this team could be at the beginning of the season. And we're kind of approaching that midway point, Jonesy, but I would say Atlanta, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. You tell me what you think. Atlanta's better than I thought they were going to be. Philadelphia is a lot worse than I thought they would be. So those are kind of a wash when they sort of cancel each other out. But otherwise, the Raptors would be right there in the mix with the teams that I thought they would be with in terms of Chicago, Detroit, Charlotte, Washington, Brooklyn, Indiana. And I thought, again, Atlanta would be in there. And I remember saying to you before the regular season started, and I thought you agreed, that they're not top 5. I don't know that they're bottom 5. They're probably somewhere in that middle where they're going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're kind of in that muddled mix in the middle. And that's where a lot of fans were saying, well, is that the greatest spot to be? Maybe you don't want to be there. You'd rather be top 5 or bottom 5, not in the middle. So some people might be listening to saying, hey, who cares? We don't want 7 of those 14 losses back. We don't want 14 and 18. We'll take 7 and 25. But I just feel like this team, even unhealthy, could have, would have, should have been better than what they are right now.
I agree with you. And for those people that say, well, give me the bottom 5, I keep going back to it. I present Philadelphia, who got Joel Embiid. Then they got Ben Simmons. Oh, Ben Simmons is gone. And how many times have they been past the second round? And they're still now going out and spending money to get a veteran like Paul George. I present Sacramento. What a freaking mess they are. They fire the guy who was the coach of the year after a year and a half, a 5-game losing streak. And when it comes out, Eric, what really happened there, it was going to blow people away. And then I look at, Minnesota finally made it to a conference final. Oh, and that's after they traded for a guy in Rudy Gobert, and it's taken the development of Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, who they've traded away now, and all these other people, and they only made it to the conference final. And look at where they are this year. It's not like I never see where winning is a bad thing.
Yep.
You know what? I'll take 10. I'll take a scrappy team at 10 where my guys look good and those assets can be moved and be traded. I'd rather take a scrappy 10 than a really lousy 14. I present the Washington Wizards. I don't, maybe it's the competitive part of me. I never see where winning is a bad thing. And you're right, Eric. With any luck, you could be looking at 14 and 18.
Well, and let's look at how this team played against the Boston Celtics last time they were in Beantown. It was a loss, but it was in overtime, and they battled hard against the Celtics, and we will hope for the same this afternoon in Beantown with the tip-off coming up next, and we will get Jonesy's keys to victory as well as the starting lineups. It's all right around the corner on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine, official bank of the Toronto Raptors, right here on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
What a tackle. Let's go to the sidelines.
You're in the zone today, Matt. Really on your game.
Yeah. Getting more sleep, not snoring all night. What a huge difference it can make. Problem snoring? Suffer from sleep apnea? Invest in yourself. Call Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. She'll use her laser to help treat your snoring and oral appliance like a sports mouth guard for your sleep apnea. Your partner will thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Book your appointment with Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. Call 647-243-2006.
Ugh, these vacation prices are really adding up. Flights, hotels.
Are your vacation plans going off-road? I'm a Sunwing financial advisor, saving you money while giving you more.
Did you say financial advisor?
Yeah, Sunwing financial advisor. There are thousands of us across Canada cracking the code on vacation savings so you can crack open that SPF.
Huh, that makes so much financial sense.
Book with your local travel advisor or at...
It's the Lexus December to Remember event at Don Valley North Lexus. Right now, Lexus loyalty guests can lease the 2025 NX 250 with rates as low as 0.9% or choose from Canada's largest selection of Lexus demonstrators with offers you won't want to miss. Hurry, these offers end December 31st. See website for details. Expect excellence. A proud member of Wayne's Auto Group.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it would be too difficult or time-consuming? Then it's time to try Babbel. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. So with just 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking in a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel, language for life. Right now, Babbel is offering radio listeners 55% off their subscription. Visit babbel.com/radio. That's BABBEL.com/radio for 55% off.
Do you get excited about Boxing Week deals? Then if it's the case, you won't want to miss our Boxing Week sale at Energy Fire Sports. Hi, I'm Jean-Luc Lemire. Enjoy Boxing Week deals throughout the entire store with savings of up to 30, 40, or even 50% off non-current helmets, accessories, apparel, and riding gear from Ski-Doo, Can-Am, and Sea-Doo. Start your shopping early and save. Visit us at Energy Fire Sports in Oakville today until January 2nd for your Boxing Week specials.
Ontario is building up our nursing workforce. Since 2018, nearly 100,000 new nurses have registered to work in Ontario. Last year, we added a record of over 18,000 new nurses with another 30,000 nursing students in school. We're investing millions in new programs that pay for nurses' education and breaking down barriers so they can get to work sooner. Learn more at ontario.ca/yourhealth. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you, awaiting the tip-off of the Celtics and Raptors. Time now for Jonesy's Keys to Victory, brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. The keys to victory, starting with, got to limit the turnovers.
That's number one. And I'm not even going to keep it as our pinned. It's 1 and 2 today, coming off 31 turnovers, one off a franchise high in the last game. That's the first one. Number two, you got to rebound and defend against these Celtics. They are one of the, well, in terms of three-point shooting, they are number one in makes, or takes and makes, in terms of three-point shooting. They're in the middle of the pack in percentage. And then lastly, you got to rebound. Long shots, long rebounds, you got to rebound.
Well, we'll see if the Raptors can rebound right here on the first possession as it goes to the Celtics. They win the opening tip. Kevin Scott, John Butler, Evan Scott, the officials this afternoon. Tatum out to Horford, wing near side, three ball, no good. And there's a rebound to the Raptors, Jonesy.
And pushing the ball. Eric, we're going to get into the numbers. Last time they played Boston, and all you guys that want to shoot the three with pie charts and stat and slide rulers, please be sitting down.
The Raptors with their 16th different starting lineup this afternoon, with Barnes, Abaji, Pirtle, Walter, and Mitchell starting for Toronto. 16 different starting lineups in just 33 games. Another miss for the Celtics. That one, Jaylen Brown. Raptors come up with the rebound on that one. Minute into the ball game, no score. Scotty Barnes straight away, deep three, front of the rim, rebound to Horford. And we are still scoreless as Jaylen Brown comes across center. Brown to Tatum to Horford. Puts it on the floor this time. Fires it back out on the perimeter to Brown to White. In the corner to Holiday. 3-ball no good. And another Toronto rebound.
Great job.
3 shots for the Celtics. All 3 from the perimeter. 2 shots for the Raptors. All 3 now from the perimeter as Jacoby Walter takes a 3 and misses. We have yet to see anything from inside the arc for either team over 90 seconds into the ballgame.
And I'm going to say, at least 2 of Boston's threes were well contested. It's the way the game's going these days.
Davion Mitchell from the baseline gets it into Pirtle inside the arc toward the far corner. In front of the Celtics bench, he puts it on the floor, gets into the paint, kicks out to Walter at the far elbow. Now in the perimeter, back out to Barnes, another missed triple. Cleaned up by Pirtle, fouled at the 10, and he will go to the free throw line. The 2 teams combined 0 for 7 in the ballgame, 0 for 7 from the perimeter. No score, and Pirtle will have a chance to finally put 1 on the board.
We're going to look at the last time they played, Eric. When we get a chance, maybe coming out of a commercial.
I know it off the top of my head because I looked at it yesterday.
I looked at it today.
99 field goal attempts, 61 of them were 3 balls, and they shot 34% from distance.
Right. They're number 1 in takes and makes, but 15th in percentage.
Yep.
That was an overtime game that the Raptors lost, oh, by the way, on a non-travel call.
Yep.
On a Jason Tatum buzzer beater. And I'm going to look at the old-fashioned numbers when we get a chance. Points in the paint.
Raptors had over 70.
Right.
And Toronto shot over 50% from the floor and still lost the game. Out-rebounded Boston as well. Pirtle goes 1 of 2 at the stripe. Boston comes the other way. Guess what? Corner 3 from Tatum, no good. Toronto still leads 1-0.
So don't tell me that the old-fashioned way doesn't work.
I agree with you. We're over 2 minutes into the ball game now. We still haven't seen a 2-point field goal attempted, and we still won't as Jacoby Walter misses another 3. And the 2 teams are now combined 0 of 9 from distance, and the score is 1-0 with 2:25 gone by in the opening frame.
Is that a Vladdy 2-out, 2-run solo dinger or what? 1-0?
White, far side, puts it on the floor, kicks it out onto the perimeter. Al Horford 3-ball, no good. This is getting borderline ridiculous now. Davion Mitchell back for Toronto, lobs it into Scotty Barnes. Barnes toward the left block, near side, backing down on White, turns, fires, bucket is good from Scotty Barnes as he hits the 14-footer. It's 3-0 Toronto.
What do you know, a mid-range shot and it went down.
White to Brown. Brown inside the arc. Far elbow, cut off by Mitchell, goes out to White on the perimeter straight away. Shot clock down to 8. Derek White got a step on Jacoby Walter, drives toward the 10, got his shot blocked by Barnes, picked up by Abaji, ahead to Davion, back to Ochai, tipped away by Horford. It's going to be off.
No, Davion didn't touch that.
100% off Boston.
That's
and
a
Boston
terrible call.
Boston quickly inbounds before Toronto can even challenge a horrible call, Jonesy, you're right. Drew Holiday trying to get down to the left block on Scotty Barnes. Turns, fires, misses the jumper. The first 2-point field goal attempt for Boston. They're now 0 of 7 and scoreless 3.5 minutes into the game. Barnes over to Pirtle inside the arc. Toward that far corner, goes back to Barnes on the wing. Barnes now around the Pirtle screen, goes back to Yak, bobbled the ball, gets it back, tried to flick it out to Abaji, picked off by Jaylen Brown, who gives it now to Drew Holiday. To Derek White. Over to Jason Tatum, near sideline. Tatum 3-ball, no good. Tatum starts this ball game 0 of 3. Boston 0 of 8 as a team, scoreless in the opening 4 minutes. Raptors leading 3-0. 7:52 to go here in the opening frame. Pirtle to Mitchell. Mitchell around the Pirtle screen. Beautiful cut by Abaji, and he blows the layup. On about a 25-foot bounce pass from Davion Mitchell, Abaji freed himself wide open at the 10, and he missed it. And finally back the other way, Boston gets on the board on a layup from Jaylen Brown, and Darko calls a timeout. Raptors lead 3-2 with 7:34 to go in the opening frame. Nothing, Jonesy?
Well, I'm just thinking. I'm trying to get inside Darko's head as to why the timeout. You're defending the 3 well. They're 0 of 6. They made 1 field goal from the floor. I mean, you've kind of taken yourself into their game. I know we're going to take a quick break here, Eric, but you've taken yourself into their game. You're 0 of 5 from 3, 1 of 7 from the floor. But all you have to do is call some stuff for your team to run. I don't know if I would have let them reset with a timeout as well.
It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank. This is how we fan. Tangerine, official bank of the Toronto Raptors on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Raptor fans. What would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan. I suggested they transform their house into a giant robot head, beams that shoot from the eyes. Pew, pew. Instead, they just went with shingles. But it's pretty glorious.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Fiscal license 12616.
Boxing Week is on now at Freedom Mobile. Get 50 gigs to use in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico for just $35 a month for 18 months. Plus, get a one-time gift of 5 gigs of Roam Beyond data. Conditions apply. Details and more Boxing Week offers at freedommobile.ca.
From the chicken experts at Swiss Chalet, it's our new chicken farm. Hand-breaded, cheesy, delicious. And add a beverage for a chance to win a trip to Italy or California wine country. Our new chicken farm, only $17.99, only at Swiss Chalet. Limited time, taxes extra. Visit SwissChalet.com for full details.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. First quarter, 7:34 to go. Raptors leading the Celtics 3-2 Boston. 1 of 9 to start the game. 0 of 6 from distance. The Raptors 1 of 7 to start the game. 0 of 5 from distance. Certainly not the start either team or either coach specifically was looking for, Jonesy. And you were talking about that timeout from Darko. Maybe not necessarily agreeing with it. I agree with you. I don't know if it was totally necessary, but maybe there was something that he wanted to talk about or clean up as the Raptors come out of the timeout with the ball. Scotty Barnes at the free throw line. Step back jumper over Tatum, rolled off the rim and into the hands of Jaylen Brown. Boston has it. Starters on the floor for the Celtics. The Raptors have made a change as Bruce Brown comes in for Jacoby Walter. Tatum gives it up to Horford, to Holiday, skips through traffic, kicks out on the perimeter to Jaylen Brown, who now drives down toward the painted area. Too hard off the glass. Nice contest from Brown, and then taken away by Pirtle.
Great closeout by Ochai.
And a great pass from Scotty Barnes to a cutting Bruce Brown in traffic. Brown went for the layup, got hacked, and will go to the free throw line.
Scotty got caught in midair.
Yep.
Bruce Brown continuing to run hard, helped bail him out. But on the previous play, great closeout by Ochai. Stayed in front of Brown. Brown tried to bogart his way to the basket. Got in amongst 4 Raptors with the slow dribble. Toronto collapsed on him. That's terrific defense.
And Scotty, starting this ball game, much like most of the players on the floor, with a bit of a struggle, is 1 of 4, 2 points, does have 4 rebounds as Bruce Brown heads to the free throw line, misses the first but hits the second, and the Raptors lead 4-2. We're approaching the midway point of the quarter, and Boston has 2 points. Toronto has 4. Each team with 1 field goal, and we are almost halfway through the opening quarter. Tatum out on the wing far side goes up top to Horford. Wide open 3-ball. Another miss for Boston. Jaylen Brown beats Abaji to the rebound, but then throws the ball away as it's picked off by Scotty Barnes. Down the floor to Davion Mitchell. Over to Ochai, who lays it in, and the Raptors lead 6-2. A terrible start for the Celtics. And unfortunately, the Raptors haven't been able to take advantage as much as they'd like to, but they do lead 6-2. White 3-ball is good. 1 of 8 from distance, Boston, but they finally get one on the board to trail by 1.
I know they won the NBA title last year playing that style. I just don't know if it's sustainable.
Pirtle hands it off on the perimeter, far side to Brown. Turns the other way, goes around the Pirtle screen, then throws the pass over the shoulder to Mitchell, over to Barnes. Barnes, free ball, bumped 2 rims, bounced out, no good. Raptors now 0 of 7 from distance. 6-5, Toronto leads. 5:40 to go, opening quarter. Holiday has it straight away above the arc on a switch. Then Abaji tried to run back over, got there too late. Holiday hits it, and Boston grabs an 8-6 lead.
Well, you just have to know that they're going to shoot the 3, and you always have to be close enough to touch, close out to touch, and be able to contest.
Barnes driving, lost the handle. Loose ball tapped from Brown to Horford, back to Brown to a cutting White, lays it in. And despite the horrible start, Boston leads 10-6, shooting 28% with 4 made field goals, but up 4. And the Raptors take another timeout.
Well, Darko obviously doesn't want to let anything get going, but he's got to, if this game's going to be close, again, I always say it, you got to keep some timeouts for the end of the game to manage it.
5:15 to go in the opening quarter. Raptors trailing by 4. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Raptor fans. What would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
Dreaming of sunshine and the beach? This Boxing Week, redtag.ca brings you exclusive savings that make travel dreams come true. Book now and unbox an instant discount of up to $200 off select vacations. That's on top of incredible deals on flights, hotels, cruises, and more. Why wait? It's too cold here. Your beach escape is calling. Visit redtag.ca or call 1-866-5REDTAG to get your promo code. Offer ends December 31st. Don't miss out. Certain conditions apply.
redtag.ca. This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. First quarter, 5:15 to play, 10-6. Raptors trailing by 4. Boston starting to show a little bit of life here over the last few possessions, Jonesy, as Toronto has turned it over 3 times, converting to Boston points only twice. 2 points for the Celtics. Boston with 2 turnovers, Raptors with 3 points off turnovers, but Toronto still 0 from the perimeter, 0 of 6, and only 2 of 10 from the floor. Boston 4 of 14 overall, but a couple of 3 balls, 2 of 9. And Derek White leading the way with 5 points thus far.
Well, Raptors right there. I like what they're doing defensively. Yeah, part of it is Boston missing, but some of those misses are due to what Toronto is doing with them defensively.
Raptors with the ball out of the timeout. Jamal Shed, Chris Boucher checking into the ball game. They're out there with Ochai and Pirtle. Peyton Pritchard comes in for the Celtics. He's in for Jaylen Brown. Bruce Brown has it for Toronto right now in the near corner. Goes back out on the wing to Ochai. Over on the far side, it's Boucher with an up fake. Dribbles in just below the far elbow and knocks down the mid-range jumper.
Great move by Chris. They were so focused on keeping him off the three. Just a little shot fake got him some space.
Boston's lead is cut to 10-8.
And I like this matchup with Jamal Shed guarding Peyton Pritchard. No, he's not giving him any water.
Wing, far side, Horford got a look at a three, missed another one. In for the rebound was Drew Holiday. Kicks it out on the near wing to White. Another triple for Derek White. His second. He's got 8 points in the ballgame. Boston by 5.
Got a rebound because that's the best time to get the three.
Rebounding 9-9 right now. Boucher with the up fake. Fires back over to Shed. 3-ball straightaway, missed it. Pirtle got hands on it. Loose ball picked up by Ochai. Out to Boucher, cross court, right to left, over to Brown, now to Pirtle, above the free throw line. Yak out far sideline. Ochai, good look at a three. That one rattled and popped out. picked up by Bruce Brown. A third chance on this possession. Sheds three ball, too strong, back rim. Rebound to the Celtics.
Can you get off the three if you're not making any?
Toronto 0 of 9. Pritchard back the other way. Three ball is good. And just like that, the Celtics have doubled up the Raptors at 16-8.
Well, and Boston's shooting a whopping 35%.
Toronto 21%. 0 of 9. Brown over to Pirtle. Pirtle at the far elbow extended. Goes back out on the perimeter to Ochai. Ochai cross court right to left to Boucher. Sideline three. Two rims popped out again. 0 of 10 from distance for Toronto. Now shooting 20% in the game. Trailing 16-8 with 3:07 to go. Tatum has it, guarded on the perimeter by Pirtle. He backs him out almost towards center court. Now dribbles behind the back, gets by Yak, gets into the paint, and fouled on a pass-off by Chris Boucher.
Chris Boucher asking for a travel on Tatum. And I don't know when they've changed that rule where if you hop on your... Tatum hopped on his left foot, landed on his left foot. Somebody said to me they're now calling that the zero step. Well, that's going to give a huge advantage, and it's a really different interpretation of the rule than I've ever seen.
16-8, Boston leads. Pritchard with a step back, then passes over in the corner to Hauser, who missed the three ball. Looked like he stepped on Shed's foot, and then Shed rolled an ankle, and Jamal Shed is limping a little bit right now on the offensive end. Barnes, far corner double team. Dangerous pass, and it's picked off by Boston, but Derek White couldn't squeeze. It goes right to Barnes to Shed, who blows the layup. Might have got blocked, but then it's picked up by Scotty Barnes, who puts it in the tin.
Cornette did a good job of hustling over to get a piece of Shed's layup, but Scotty Johnny on the spot.
16-10, Raptors trail by 6. Tatum trying to go to work on Bruce Brown. Now double teamed by Kelly Olynyk. Goes in the paint to Cornette, knocked away by Brown, picked up by Shed. Shed sprinting down the floor, passes to a cutting Boucher. It was right at the rim, but they call it a clean block, not a goaltend. Pritchard pulls up for a three ball, missed it. Box out there by Scotty Barnes on Cornette. Secures the rebound. Toronto pushes ahead. Olynyk to Brown. Raptors had numbers, but then they slow things down. Find Brown cutting to the tin. Looked like he was fouled. No call. Celtics rebound, and then the Boston Celtics call the timeout.
Evan Scott is not one of the strongest referees in the NBA.
Peyton Pritchard got Bruce Brown right on the arm, right in front of him. Jonesy, let's keep it here with 1:47 to go. Raptors trailing by 6, shooting only 21%. They're 4 of 19 in the opening quarter. The Celtics just 6 of 19.
The problem is 10 of their shots have been from 3.
And they're 0 for 10.
And they're 0 for 10. And, you know, we referenced last game where the Raptors played their style and were right in it and were beat by a travel at the buzzer. Playing their style. Scoring in the paint. Shooting a high percentage. Defending the 3. And the only thing they're not doing today out of that is scoring in the paint and taking easy shots. I mean, here's a team that's 5th in the NBA in points in the paint. And they got 4 right now.
Hey, it's almost half their points.
How many would they have if, let's say, half of those threes would have been driven into the paint so you got 5 shots in the paint and you make 3 of them at 60%?
Yep.
It's a tie game.
Well, the last 3 games for the Raptors, Memphis, Atlanta, Boston, 3 of the top 5 scoring teams in the NBA. And they gave up a whopping number to the Grizzlies at 155, gave up 137 to the Hawks, and now they're facing the Celtics trailing 16-10. It might not get as high tonight. Boston averages about 120, 122 a game. But they've only got 16 here with less than 90 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Driving to the tin, hit midair. Chris Boucher loses the ball. They say no foul. And as Tatum comes back the other way, he wanted a call. He missed the layup, but Boston gets the offensive rebound. Cornette passes buddy ball to Jason Tatum under the tin, who lays it in, and the Celtics lead by 8.
There's the offensive rebounding again. Cornette gave them a second chance. Raptors scrambled, couldn't match up, and Tatum gets a layup.
Shed has it out on the far wing, now drives toward the painted area, turns around, kicks out on the perimeter to Scotty Barnes. Another missed three ball. Raptors 0 of 11. 18-10 Boston leads. They could go up double figures right here on a Pritchard three. Yes, indeed. 21-10. 40 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Olynyk, far wing, missed the three ball, 0 of 12. Pritchard back, crosses up Shed, gets into the paint, falling toward the baseline, missed the shot. Cornette couldn't squeeze. Raptors get the rebound, and they're going to hold for just about the last shot with about a 3.5-second differential. Toronto shooting 18% in the opening quarter, trailing by 11. Shed inside the arc to Barnes on the near side. Down on the baseline near side, it's Olynyk. Kelly went up and under using the size advantage with Pritchard as he just stepped around him and calmly floated it in.
Pritchard pushing him like he was trying to...
Derek White floated the other way.
Pritchard pushing him like he was trying to move a truck.
And White's bucket came with 1/10 of a second to go in the opening quarter. White almost outscores the Raptors on his own as he puts up 10 of Boston's 23 points, scoring 4 of their 9 field goals. And despite the issues, somehow Boston still walks away with 23 in the quarter, leading the Raptors by 11, 23-12.
Well, let's take a quick check at our keys, Eric. Four turnovers. Not bad. Boston's got 4. Rebounding. Boston's out-rebounding them. And you've got to be better defensively in a sense that your bad shots are giving them opportunities to get going.
23-12, Celtics lead. Second quarter comes next on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
Hey, Chloe, guess where we're going?
Where?
Pack your bags. We leave Friday.
Wait, what? How?
Sell-Off Vacations is how. With Sell-Off Vacations, choose between beach, cruise, or the USA.
And with up to $200 in instant savings, your happy travels can start today.
Book with your local travel expert or at
selloffvacations.com. It's the Lexus December to Remember event at Don Valley North Lexus. Right now, Lexus loyalty guests can lease the 2024 RX 350 with rates as low as 0.9% or choose from Canada's largest selection of Lexus demonstrators with offers you won't want to miss. Hurry, these offers end December 31st. See website for details. Expect excellence.
Don Valley North for Lexus.
A proud member of Wayne's Auto Group.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you, getting set to start the second quarter. Happy New Year, folks. Maybe over the course of the broadcast, maybe into the second half, Jonesy, we can sort of look back at some of our memories from 2024, the second part of last season, the first part of this season, or even give out some end-of-the-year awards from a Raptors perspective, and then project ahead to what might be in 2025. But for now, we deal with the Raptors trailing the Celtics 23-12 as the second quarter begins. Raptors have the ball, and driving on the near side, it's Olynyk to a cutting Shed, cut off on the baseline, goes in the near corner to Walter. On the perimeter, it's on the wing. Barnes puts it on the floor, gets into the paint, hands all over him as he passes out to Olynyk, who's bumped and reached by Al Horford. Celtics don't like the call, but it's going to stay with the Raptors and a fresh 14 as they will inbound on the far side. And Barnes, I don't know how or where, looks like he rolled an ankle or hurt his foot somehow as he is limping around. We're getting a look at the replay from our Sportsnet TV friends, and yep, we see it now. When he drove in on the pass off to Olynyk, he stepped on Al Horford's foot and slightly rolled that right ankle. He's staying out on the floor right now, working through a little bit of pain in that right foot. Shot clock down at 9 as Shed drives on the near side, then hands it off to Olynyk, who throws up a floater, hit the back rim. First touch now of the second quarter for the Celts. Pritchard has it. Gives it up to Horford. Boston works it around the perimeter. It's Brown. Jaylen Brown now driving into the painted area. Goes right at Olynyk in the lane. Missed the shot as Kelly held his ground, but then the Raptors, in trying to push up the floor, lazily throw it away in the backcourt and give the ball right back to Boston.
There's a high school turnover.
Yep.
Trying to outlet midair to a guy who's running up the court. Take it down. Just protect the basketball.
Horford into Pritchard. Off a screen, open look. 3-ball is good. Peyton Pritchard, 3 of 4 from distance, off the bench with 9 in 6 minutes. Back for Toronto, an air ball above the free throw line for Scotty, but the Raptors get the ball back. Far corner, Jamison battle 3-ball, no good. Toronto now 0 of 13 from distance. Trailing by 14, it's 26-12. Pritchard driving on the near side, Shed holding his ground. They go in the far corner to Hauser, over the shoulder, back to Pritchard in front of the Raptor bench, now drives into the paint, stops on a dime, got blocked by Walter, ball tipped around, out on the baseline off Boston. It'll be Toronto ball.
Really good defense by Jacoby Walter. Recovered to Pritchard. Pritchard tried to lean into him. Jacoby just, gave space. When you're taller, you give space, and you can use the angle. Use your length to make the block, and that's what he did.
Raptors need to get some sort of offense cooking right now. They're shooting 19% on 5 of 26.
Well, but half their shots are from beyond the arc, Eric.
It's 26-12, and Toronto just came down the floor and turned the ball over. Davion Mitchell lost the handle. He thought it was touched by Boston. Darko's not going to challenge, and it's going to be officially the 6th turnover of the game for the Raptors. This coming off a game where they had a season-high 31 turnovers against Atlanta, second most in franchise history. Jaylen Brown around a screen set by Keita. On the wing near side, goes around another Keita screen at the free throw line with an up and under. Now passes off on the sideline to Horford near side. Missed the 3. Davion Mitchell with the rebound. Pushes ahead to a cutting Jacoby Walter, who misses the dunk. A two-hand cram. He held on to the rim and the ball popped out, and Toronto comes away empty. Step back triple. Jaylen Brown far side missed it. High for the rebound. Jakob Poeltl.
Nice job by Poeltl.
Scotty Barnes out to Davion. Mitchell now on the far side at the far elbow. Goes cross court over to Walter. Another 3-ball up and another 3-ball miss. The Raptors 0 of 14, and Walter tracked it down in the near corner. It's picked up by Boston.
Jacoby had Poeltl in the dunker spot all alone, wide open with a clear path to the basket.
And Jaylen Brown, Jonesy, on the far side, cuts into the lane, spins, and finishes on a finger roll under the outstretched arm of Jamison Battle. It's 28-12.
Well, it's just where the 3-ball has influenced the game so much.
Raptors down 16. Davion Mitchell driving, goes over the shoulder, high off glass, missed the shot. Poeltl thought Boston touched it. The officials say no, and it's Celtics ball.
Boston did touch it. Poeltl tried to reach it and didn't. And that ball was off Neemias Queta.
Yep.
No question.
Queta was in front of Poeltl and touched it with his left hand.
Toronto has called timeout to challenge the call on the court.
And as you heard in the background there, Toronto is challenging the call. So we're going to step aside with this challenge. And Toronto trailing by 16. It's 28-12 with 8:52 to go in the second quarter on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
At Tangerine, we're fans of fans who are invested in the game. Like Mary, who stands 5 inches away from her 55-inch flat-screen TV and yells at it even though she knows no one on the TV can hear a word she's saying. Is it effective? There's no evidence. Do we support her? Yeah. Screaming at the TV for all 4 quarters. That's how Mary fans. And we're fans of Mary. This is how we fan. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Feeling off your game? Game Day Men's Health helps optimize your health with services such as testosterone replacement therapy, ED treatment, medical weight loss, and more. Set up your free testosterone test and consultation at GameDayOntario.com.
The Sport Check Boxing Day event is on now. Take 20 to 60% off store-wide on the top brands in sport. Sale ends January 1st. See in-store or sportcheck.ca for more details. Some exclusions may apply. Sport Check. Say it with sport.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 8:52 to go in the second quarter. And during the timeout, we're getting word that the challenge was successful, as Jonesy called it. So the Raptors will keep the ball.
Listen, if you're a referee, you should have seen enough basketball that some calls are just automatic when you look at it.
Obvious.
They're obvious.
Yeah. And we're getting a look again from our Sportsnet TV friends. It was pretty obvious.
It was like the one in the first quarter where referee Jonathan Butler stood there and signaled the other way, and it did not come close to a Toronto player.
Davion Mitchell inbounds from the baseline. They get it out on the perimeter now as Mitchell has the ball back in his hands. He goes over to Battle in the far wing with the up fake on Brown. Tried to give it back to Mitchell. Lost the handle. Turned it over. Picked up by Pritchard. And then a loose ball foul as Battle was trying to dive after it. And the Raptors cough up their 7th miscue of the game.
That's kind of what I call the careless high school turnover by Jamison Battle. Drive, kick, and the pass is on a straight line. There's no pass twice. There's no bounce pass. The defender's waiting for that.
The Raptors are shooting 17% and trailing 28-12 with 8:25 to go in the second quarter. Horford turns, fires, wild shot, missed in the lane. Picked up by Pirtle, given to Mitchell across center. Comes Davion, who finds Battle on the near side, and he finally rips the cords on Toronto's first triple of the game, 1 of 15.
Well, you know what I say about Jamison Battle. He's Toronto's version of Sam Hauser.
8 minutes to go in the first half.
Pirtle with a great block as Keita tried to go airborne. All right, that's 2 threes in a row. Bruce Brown knocks one down from the far corner.
The Raptor offense taking the life right out of my lungs for a second there, Jonesy.
Just for a second.
28-18. Toronto has cut it to 10. Jaylen Brown now back for Boston. Over to Horford in the corner to Pritchard. 3-ball Peyton Pritchard, no good. But Boston gets the offensive rebound. They work it around to Jaylen Brown on the near side, and as he tries to drive on Pirtle, he runs into Yak's shoulder. Yak is called for the block, and it's going to be a foul on Jakob Pirtle.
I'm only smiling because 20 years ago, a guy takes that bump and keeps going to the basket or tries to play through it. There may or may not be a foul call, but you know the memes you see on the internet, the kid in the 1990s that gets hit on the door and just kind of cusses the door and keeps going, and in 2024 the kid gets hit by the door and goes down and you got to call an ambulance?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, folks, it is pretty good. I think it's like the 80s kid punches the door. The 90s kid just stares back at the door. The 2000s kid kind of flinches and reacts, but the 2024 kid does like, ah, and falls down like they've been shot.
Yeah.
And needs to call an ambulance. Raptors whistled for a loose ball foul, so Boston will do it again and throw it in with a fresh 14, leading by 10.
Wants to sue the door for assault.
Exactly. 7:10 to go in the first half. Jaylen Brown dipping behind the Queta screen, gets to the free throw line. Abaji stays with him as Brown goes left, then comes back right, and then throws up a floater that goes. Jaylen Brown pulling out the full package there to put Boston up by 12. 30-18. 18 points for the Raptors with 6:50 to go in the first half. And a nice pass there from Pirtle to a cutting Bruce Brown who lays it in.
Great job. Bruce Brown, his activity again. So good with his cuts and his movement.
30-20. Brown, far sideline. Pritchard, 3-ball. Missed it. Had a great look. Queta with the rebound. To Pritchard on the baseline, far side. Out on the perimeter to Hauser, open look. Hit the front of the rim, missed it. Pirtle gets the rebound and gives it to Brown. Raptors can get it into single digits here. Davion Mitchell probes through the lane a little bit, then brings it back toward the perimeter. Now freed up straight away, goes over to Battle. Back over to Mitchell. Mitchell above the arc. Backs up towards center. Shot by Jamison Battle, who has the ball knocked away. It goes off his leg, out of bounds. It's Boston ball. Man, he was wide open at the tin.
He was.
$20 points for the Raptors with 5:50 to go in the first half. They trail 30-20. Queta over to Hauser. Hauser on the near side, hands off to Pritchard. Deep one for Peyton Pritchard goes. It's about a 32-footer for Peyton Pritchard, and the lead goes back up to 13. Largest lead was 16. Boston now 7 of 23 from distance. Mitchell trying to get it back on a 3-ball straightaway, does so. A north side 3 brings the Raptors within 10, and the Celtics call a timeout.
Good job by Davion that time. Raptors finally starting to make some threes, 3 of their last 5 after missing their first 13.
We'll step aside for the break with 5:22 to go in the first half. The Raptors trailing 33-23 on Toronto Raptors basketball. Brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans. What would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
People sometimes ask, sure, you can consolidate people's debts using telekinesis, but what else can you do? As if changing lives isn't enough. Well, I can also use my power to make it rain hot dogs. It's still not as cool as consolidating debts into one easy payment, though.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today, and your car can be gone tomorrow.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Second quarter continues. 5:22 to play until half. Amit Man coming up with the halftime show as Toronto trails by 10, 33-23. Final game of 2024. And we won't have to wait long for the first one of the new calendar year. 2025 tips off tomorrow at Scotiabank Arena with the Raptors hosting the Brooklyn Nets on the second night of a back-to-back and the final game of an extremely busy holiday season for the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, Toronto in and out. And at least they've got a couple of home games. They'll be on a 3-game homestand. First one tomorrow, as you said, New Year's Day against Brooklyn. Then Milwaukee comes in, or Orlando and Milwaukee come in. So at least you got some time to be at home and hopefully practice, maybe get some shots up watch some video and try to get this thing turned around.
Toronto playing tonight, or this afternoon, without RJ Barrett, who continues to battle an illness. RJ came back last game, but now has missed 2 of the last 3 with this illness, this virus that he's battling. Brady Dick sidelined as well. And Jamal Shed back in the lineup for the Raptors, but Emmanuel Quickly still remains out, as he has for most of the season. Out of that timeout, bucket is good for Holiday, a 14-footer. Puts Boston up by 12. Raptors come up empty on the other end. Shed misses, but it's tracked down by Pirtle. Second chance opportunity. Ends up with Jamison Battle in the far corner, missing a 3-ball, and Boston gets the rebound. 35-23. 4:30 to go in this first half, and now a reach-in foul on Bruce Brown about 35 feet from the hoop that had no impact on the play. And the officials blow the whistle. Boston will inbound from the far side.
And I don't have a problem with the foul call as long as we see that all the time.
Which we don't.
And that's the issue.
35-23. Tatum, 3-ball straight away, missed it. Jason Tatum in this game is 1 of 6 with 2 points. Shed, near sideline. 3-ball is good. And Toronto has got it into single digits. It's 35-26. But they don't get back defensively, and Derek White gets behind the defense, lays it in, and puts Boston up by 11.
That's unacceptable.
Brown back for Toronto.
Lots of time. There was. It's not like Boston rushed it out of the net.
Scotty Barnes trying to pass off down on the right block far side. Tried to go cross court. It was deflected, knocked away by Boston into the baseline. Yeah,
tough
very
pass.
tough.
Moving to his right, trying to pass it back to his left along the baseline.
37-26 with exactly 4 minutes now to go in this first half. Mitchell will inbound from the baseline, gets it into Pirtle, who drops it back to Davion. Far sideline, 3-ball is good. Raptors trail by 8.
Well, Davion knocking down a couple.
He got the start.
Yeah, selective though. He's 2 of 3. He's not just hoisting them indiscriminately.
And now Tatum tries to split defenders and push his way into the lane. Looked like he just ran into Pirtle.
He threw his
and they
body,
blow the whistle against Yak.
He threw his body at Pirtle. He wasn't even going that way. He was going to his right.
And he had already lost the ball, too.
He was going to his right. Pirtle was standing on his left. He hurtled his body into him. That's what caused him to lose the ball more than anything else.
Jonesy, we don't have time to get into it in the middle of a broadcast, but I really do think, and listen, you say all the time it's the hardest sport in the world to officiate. That you might be right. I think professional sports, officiating in general, even at a minor league level, even at a house league level, even at a bitty ball level, is extremely difficult. But I think the league's got an issue right now in a lot of ways with the officiating, the inconsistency, the rules, the way they're being interpreted, the way they're being called, the way that the fans are watching or listening or not with the ratings, etc. With the money that's involved. The league's kind of got some problems right now.
The biggest problem is the players deceiving the refs into calls and the refs falling for it. In my eyes, they have to let some of that go so the players will stop doing it. It's positive reinforcement now. Guys keep doing it because they keep getting rewarded.
38-29, Boston has the ball after Scotty Barnes turned it over on the other end. Jaylen Brown into the paint. Davion Mitchell holding his ground. Brown tries to go up and under, missed the shot, gets his own miss back as he tips it back in the tin, staying with the play to give the Celtics an 11-point lead.
Things like the no calls on carries, travels, 3 seconds in the key. The inconsistency of them is really, to me, breaking down the fabric of the game.
Pirtle lost the handle in the lane. Loose ball picked up by Scotty. Kicks it out on the perimeter to Mitchell. Tried to go cross-court. His pass deflected and ultimately picked off by Boston. Down the floor, Tatum traveled, but fouled. And guess which one they're calling? The foul, not the travel.
He caught the ball and walked before the foul.
And Jason Tatum back to the free throw line, where he just went 1 of 2 a couple of possessions ago. He's 1 of 6 in the game with only 3 points. But back to the stripe he goes and misses another free throw, 1 of 3. 40-29. Boston leading the Raptors by 11 with 2:42 to go until half. Tatum's second free throw, no good as well. That kind of day for Jason Tatum. 1 of 6 from the floor, 1 of 4 from the free throw line.
He didn't deserve those free throws anyway.
Jacoby Walter gave it up to Ochai. And then the Raptors got picked off, but they come back the other way and get a stop and take the ball away from Tatum. So back-to-back turnovers, and then at midcourt, Ochai nearly bobbled it and gave it up again.
Well, Tatum chopped him. And the Raptor bench is up and saying, are you kidding me? Tatum chopped him and then had the temerity to look at the referee and say, what's the problem?
2:21 to go in this first half, and I'll be honest, folks, I'm glad you're tuned in on New Year's Eve on an afternoon ball game, but this has been one to forget thus far for both teams. Boston leading by 10, but they've scored only 40 points on 36%, and now Toronto trails by 10 as Scotty Barnes goes to the free throw line.
Yeah, they call that a transition take foul. I think that's the
second or third maybe we've seen all year.
All year, yeah.
Toronto down 10 as this possession continues. Ochai Agbaji blows the layup right at the tin. Faked right, came back left, and missed the scoop. Ochai 1 of 6 in the ballgame. Jaylen Brown leaning in on Jacoby Walter and looked to pass off there to Cornette, who missed it. It goes out of bounds onto the baseline. Raptors want to get this ball in before the Celtics can maybe challenge, and they do. I find Toronto takes too long sometimes, Jonesy, getting the ball in. Barnes has it right now with 1:55 to play. Lobs it into the paint to Pirtle. Double teamed by Brown and Cornette. Goes back out to Jacoby out on the far wing. Now puts it on the floor. Drives past Brown. Met by White. They say mid-air play on. No whistle. And Boston gets the ball. If that truly was clean, then Jacoby Walter needs to be stronger on Derek White. Pirtle.
I agree.
Grabs the rebound off the miss from White. Jumper for Scotty on a triple is good. And the Raptors, with less than 90 seconds to play, have cut it to 7. One of those games again that looks like it was out of hand, and Toronto is trying to make the comeback. And Jonesy's pointing out of the corner of my eye at Jason Tatum, who scores a bucket, but caught the ball in the backcourt, which they didn't call, which then set up his bucket.
They're ignoring, as I said, the little rules that make the game what it is. That was an over and back, and they ended up getting 2 points.
42-33, near corner. Walter faked it, beat Cornette to the tin, went up and under, missed it, but guided back into the rim and into the hoop by Jakob Pirtle.
Well, with Jaylen Brown wearing him, but nice job by Jakob.
42-35, 7-point game again. Tatum across center. After just getting his second field goal moments ago, he's got the ball back in his hands. Double team briefly by Barnes and Pirtle. Now passes to Cornette down toward the baseline, far side. Missed it on the block on a right-hand hook. Cleaned up by the Raptors as Toronto will come away with it. They'll have to give it up before the end of the half. There's about a 6-second differential. Shot clock, game clock. Shed out near center. Dribbling the clock down. He's covered by Derek White. Shot clock down to 7 now. Pirtle comes up, sets a screen. And then the Raptors botch it as Shed threw the ball to Ochai too high. It goes off Ochai's hands, off the backboard into the hands of the Celtics. Last shot time now for Boston. Brown passes out to Holiday. 3-ball before the buzzer is good. And Boston walks into the half off a triple, which will give them a 10-point lead going into the locker room.
I'm putting that one on Scotty Barnes, who was in help position, but just did not close out with the veracity that you need to when you're playing a team that shoots more threes than anything else and the game clock winding down.
Well, after starting the game shooting horribly from distance, both teams end up walking into the half with 8 triples for the Celts, 6 for the Raptors. So, Jonesy, it's not the three-point shooting right now. Unfortunately, it's been the Raptors' Achilles heel for much of the season and certainly in this losing streak.
Yeah.
12 turnovers in the first half.
12 turnovers. I mean, you look at second chance points. Boston, 8 offensive rebounds, 9 second chance points. And a lot of those paint points are a direct result of live ball turnovers. The Raptors, one of the best teams, number 4 in the NBA in terms of points in the paint. They're just it's not good right now. They're being outscored 16-10.
Raptors down 45-35 at the break. When we come back, Amit Men will have the halftime show. Then Jonesy and I return for second half action. It's Boston and Toronto on New Year's Eve day on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
At Newboro, we develop unique plans so people can unlock the equity in their home. Unique like this one. It's called the Jackson's Plan.
What's up, insiders? Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for being a Raptors fan. Thank you for chatting it up and cheering on one of the worst teams in basketball. We're tanking for flag. There's no doubt about that. 10 straight losses. Are you kidding me? That doesn't happen to a good basketball team. But that shows that you are a true fan for being here, hanging out with us, chatting it up, cheering on our Raptors. Thank you. And please take a look at our SickKids Football Frenzy campaign as well. We're running that through the football playoffs, the college, and the NFL. Trying to raise money for SickKids Hospital. So if you feel like donating, please click that link that is pinned in the chat or is in the description and help our amazing cause with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Go Raptors, go! We'll see you back in there.
Is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Hello, my name is Amit Man. Welcome to the halftime show. It is brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game, lease a CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. So the Raptors are down 45-35 to the Boston Celtics. An interesting first half as both teams shot more than 50% of their shots from three. The Raptors 6 of 23. The Celtics 8 of 25. The Raptors, they have 12 turnovers, leading to 12 Boston Celtics points, especially in that second quarter. It got very dicey for the squad. A lot of precarious passes being thrown by Davion Mitchell, along with other players. Bruce Brown, 6 points. Scotty Barnes, 8 points, 8 rebounds. Davion Mitchell, who did return and started, along with Jacoby Walter, no Grady Dick, or no RJ Barrett. Those two will probably be back over the next few days. Also, Peyton Pritchard, he had a 32-footer, like actually 32 feet, and it was a rhythm shot. Pretty ridiculous. He had 12 points. Derek White, 12 points, 1 steal, 3 blocks. Some great contests. Were they fouls? Were they not fouls? I don't know. I guess they weren't. 8 points for Jaylen Brown, and then for Jason Tatum, 5 points. 2 points were gifted towards the end of that second quarter. There was an obvious violation at half court. It was a backcourt violation, and for whatever reason, the officials did not call it, and he just kind of went about his business and hit a pull-up 2 on Scotty Barnes. Interesting. So officiating, Raptors, Celtics, kind of a weird first half, I would say. Obviously, the three-point shot is going to be very prevalent with the Boston Celtics, and it seems like the Raptors are just trying to keep up with the team that shoots the three ball a whole lot. Let's continue breaking it down after the break, and we'll look ahead to the final 24 when we return after a quick getaway. So stick around. You are listening to Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and sportsnet.ca.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos. Malcolm gets his accent right with Babbel's speech recognition.
Sur le point.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Right now, go to babbel.com/radio to get 60% off. That's BABBEL.com/radio for 60% off.
It's the Lexus December to Remember event at Don Valley North Lexus. Right now, Lexus loyalty guests can lease the 2024 RX 350 with rates as low as 0.9% or choose from Canada's largest selection of Lexus demonstrators with offers you won't want to miss. Hurry, these offers end December 31st. See website for details. Expect excellence. A proud member of Wayne's Auto Group.
Ontario is building up our nursing workforce. Since 2018, nearly 100,000 new nurses have registered to work in Ontario. Last year, we added a record of over 18,000 new nurses with another 30,000 nursing students in school. We're investing millions in new programs that pay for nurses' education and breaking down barriers so they can get to work sooner. Learn more at ontario.ca/yourhealth. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Direct! Greg Carrasco here, the Greg Carrasco. Big news. I am now the managing partner at Direct Nissan in Mississauga. For 30 years, you've trusted me to steer you right. So if you're one of my customers or you just love a great deal, come on down. You will laugh, you'll cry, and you might even drive away with a deal that will blow your mind. Direct Nissan. New vibe, same Greg. There is something happening here at directnissan.ca.
Direct! This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
It's the halftime show. I'm with the man here. The Raptors are down 45-35 to the defending champion Boston Celtics. In that first half, we saw the three-point shot be integral to both teams, but in different ways. And, you know, for the Celtics, they started the game 0 of 7, and the Raptors, they missed their first 14 threes. So you can think that going into this one, you would think Darko's saying, we got to try to compete from the three-point line. We can't lose the math battle that badly. Probably the Celtics will make more, but we can't get outscored by 25-30. Otherwise, the game is essentially over. So the Raptors were putting them up quite a bit. In some cases, you know, maybe too much. Like there was a sequence in that first quarter where they got three threes up, 2 offensive rebounds, and 0 points. But then, you know, fast forward like 10 seconds, there's Peyton Pritchard, who's just having a sensational season so far. He hits a 32-foot three-pointer. He has a pull-up three, a couple of other threes, and that's just how easy the Boston Celtics can hit from beyond the arc. And it's something that a lot of teams are trying to compete with, and the Raptors are trying to do that in their own way at the same time. Now, offensively for the Raptors, coming into this game, Boston, you know, they've lost 4 of their last 6 games. They haven't lost like this in the entirety of 2024. They needed to make a switch, you know, post-game over the past few games. They've been talking about the need to more defensive attention to details, just trying to find their groove on the defensive end, more containing the ball, tighter shells, things of that nature. And it seemed like they were more committed to doing that in this game as opposed to some of the other ones. You know, a lot more switching. They were very comfortable switching Jakob Poeltl onto pretty much anybody. Like, they didn't really worry about that. And, you know, in the previous matchup, Jak had a monster game. Afterwards, Joe Mazzulla was quoted saying that he was a bear. And it seems like they're doing a little bit less of that. They're not willing to give Jak those free post-ups. They're doubling down on the post. And now they're making the Raptors shoot a lot more shots from 3. And aside from that, the Raptors did miss at very least like 2 wide open shots. One was an open layup. One was a wide open dunk. And you just don't have that margin for error against the Boston Celtics. You got to be able to convert when you get these opportunities. and they weren't really doing that. Now, Bruce Brown, love his game. Like, since he came back the previous game, you're kind of seeing, like, he was telling us that my knee isn't good. It hasn't been good. He opted not to get surgery during the offseason. He did get it just before the season. He's missed a long time, but you can see how mobile he is, how crafty he is, how much he helps their cutting, and also in the short roll too, inverted pick and rolls. Like, he's really handy there too. And he's probably one of their best players so far in this first half. Aside from some Bruce, Davion Mitchell did return. He had a couple of threes. It's nice to have someone who can contain the ball, because containing the ball has been a problem for the Raptors for a few games now. I'm sure you know they've given up over 450 points over their past 3 games. And if you want to be able to stop the ball, you need the personnel to do it in some cases. And if you take out, RJ Barrett and Grady Dick, and you insert Jacoby Walter and Davion Mitchell, you're going to be in a better spot. So let's see how things go for the Raptors in the second half, because they got to be able to hit some threes against this Boston Celtics team. So Eric and Paul got you from here. Game is coming up in just a few minutes. You are listening to Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and sportsnet.ca.
Well, everyone got their Christmas wish except me. Hello? Don't be like that. You got some good stuff. And look, I'm grateful, but do you see me sitting on the beach right now? Okay, well played. selloffvacations.com. Oh, up to $200 off Acapulco. Ooh, remember Acapulco? Family dinners by the ocean, building sandcastles, pure joy. Welcome to the happy I've been waiting for. Book with your local travel expert or at
selloffvacations.com.
Are you ready to unbox a great deal? Like the colder temperature, our Boxing Week promotions are here at Energy Power Sports. Hi, I'm Jean-Luc Lemire. Boxing Week deals are on our entire new and pre-owned inventory. Choose your promotions on Ski-Doo or Lynx snowmobiles for up to $3,000 off, or choose financing as low as 0% on remaining 2024 or 2025 models. The choice is yours, and the savings are big. Visit us at Energy Power Sports in Oakville today for your Boxing Week deals.
Orthotics.
Footwear.
Orthotics.
Footwear.
Guys, enough. Kintec are experts in orthotics and footwear. It's what sets them apart. By tailoring orthotics to your shoes and shoes to your orthotics, you get comfort and support designed just for you.
Oh, so it's orthotics and footwear working together.
Like peanut butter and jelly.
You got it.
Or pickles and syrup.
Is that a thing?
PB&J.
Pickles and syrup!
Oh, boy.
Kintec footwear and orthotics.
Nobody likes January, so limber up and get on down to St. Louis Bar and Grill for all-you-can-eat boneless chicken for only $19.99. When your great Uncle Leo sends you that card with a 20 in it, you may have been wondering, what am I going to do with $20? Well, sport, I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to eat a lot of chicken.
Ooh-wee.
Because for a limited time, there's also no tax. For just $19.99, you can go to town on all the boneless you can handle.
All you can eat boneless for only $19.99. Only at St. Louis Bar and Grill. Dine and only. You are welcome.
Great goal! Let's go to Dave at the bench.
Oh, what a shot, Gord. Last time we spoke, you had been really tired. Not anymore.
Yeah, snoring all night. Losing sleep ruins your game.
Problem snoring? Suffer from sleep apnea? Invest in yourself. Call Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. She'll use her laser to help treat your snoring and oral appliance like a sports mouth guard for your sleep apnea. Your partner will thank you.
Thanks, Gord.
Book your appointment with Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. Call 647-243-2006.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you, getting set to start the second half. Raptors walk into the third quarter trailing 45-35.
Okay, riddle me this, Batman.
I don't know if I'll have an answer for you, but I'll try.
Riddle me this.
Yep.
In this day and age when everybody tempestuously
goodness, the language and the words you're pulling out tonight.
Hoisting threes with indiscriminance, yet there's a total of 70 points in the first half.
It was just a couple of games ago. The Raptors had 70 in the first half on their own.
Without 25 threes.
Raptors score a deuce to begin the third quarter on a layup by Davion Mitchell. And they cut it to 8. Jaylen Brown empty on his first touch. But Boston gets the offensive rebound, and it nets a Derek White triple to put Boston up by 11. Barnes trying to answer back. Can't. He misses a 3-ball. Scotty, 3 of 11. Does have 8 points and 9 rebounds in the ball game. Jason Tatum 3-ball is good. And just like that, after back-to-back 3-balls, Boston balloons their lead to 14. Barnes in the near corner to Walter. Walter stops on a dime, floats one up and over. Jaylen Brown. Has a 13-footer for Jacoby to pull the Raptors within 12. Just over 90 seconds gone by here, as Drew Holiday misses the jumper from straight away. That one empty from 17 feet. Hurdle in the lane, skips to the tin, lays it in, uses his size and length to get by Tatum, and cuts it to 10. 51-41. 10-10 to go here in the third quarter. Less than 2 minutes into the frame. Drew Holiday out near center. Over on the wing near side to Tatum. Raptors were slow to get to him, and Scotty finally jumped out to contest, and Tatum still buried it.
You have to know that's the first look for these guys. That's what they want to do.
54-41. Raptors trailing by 13. Barnes has it, bounces it to Pirtle. Inside the arc, pretty much straight away. Now hands off to Ochai. Turns, fires on a 3. Back rim, no good. Pirtle battling for it, tracks it down on the near sideline. Gives it back to Ochai. Up top to Walter. Looks up at the shot clock. It's down to 7. Sets the feet, takes a 3. Rolled off the rim, off the fingertips of Tatum to Barnes in the lane. Looked like he was fouled. Missed the shot. And then as Tatum comes down with the rebound, he turns, throws an elbow into the face of Davion Mitchell, and is called for the foul, and the Raptors are going to get the ball.
That's his second personal foul.
9:20 to go in the third. Raptors trailing by 10. Mitchell is checking the chiclets to make sure he's still got all of his teeth as the Raptors inbound the ball. And Mitchell trying to find Ochai underneath, turns the ball over and gives it right back to Boston.
Ochai's got to squeeze that. You know, he's touching his chest, running back, saying, my bad. Yeah, it is. You got to squeeze that. You're a professional basketball player. That needs to be caught and laid in.
51-44. Boston leading another triple for Tatum. A deep one. He missed it, but he's fouled, allegedly. Both Barnes and Pirtle have palms to the sky. Neither one feeling like they touched Tatum. And Jason Tatum's going to get 3.
It is a practice now by guys to shoot the ball and fall down.
They're calling it on Pirtle, by the way.
With nobody around them. I'm sure guys are in the gym doing that. In their workouts. Shooting the ball, yelling, hey, and falling down. Eric, I don't know if you saw the social media post by a guy that we're both friends with. Really, really a terrific coach. Really kind of turned his life around. Former Raptor assistant Bill Bano. And Coach Bano on his Instagram site was talking about, you know, in training players and stuff. And he talked about coming to Toronto.
I did see that, yep.
And teaching DeMar and Kyle to yell when you drive into the lane, hey, ah! And all of a sudden get the foul call. Well, it's moved to a new degree now with guys, like I said, shooting the ball and just falling down.
56-41. Raptors trailing by 15, but Barnes gets 2 back on a pretty jumper on the other end. The turnaround fade from 20 feet far side. Raptors down 13. Tatum to Horford to Brown. Brown has it on the far side. Back to Horford down near the right block. Skips on the baseline. Passes out near corner to White. White back to Horford. Gets it out to Holiday on the wing near side. Drops down a triple, and the Raptors trail by 16.
The Raptors had a double team, a natural double team in the corner on Derek White, and Jacoby Walter let it go. They got bent out of rotation, and Holiday ended up with a 3.
And now back the other way. Walter fouled in the lane. He's going to get try to get 2 back at the free throw line as the foul comes in against the Celts, and that'll go on Derek White.
It was the perfect double team. You had him in the pocket. You had 2 people on him. He couldn't go backwards. He couldn't go sideways because of the sideline and the baseline. And when you dissolve that double team, Everybody rotated toward it. Now everybody's scrambling to find their man.
Well, hopefully the rookie will learn, Jonesy. As Walter goes to the free throw line, misses the first, hits the second, and the Raptors trail by 15.
Well, you sound like the late K.C. Jones, who used to coach the Celtics, said, you know what the best thing about rookies is? And somebody said, no. K.C. says they become second-year players.
Toronto down 15. Jaylen Brown trying to shake free from Ochai. Drives toward the far side, draws a triple team, kicks out to a wide-open Al Horford, who misses the three ball. And the Raptors come away with the rebound. Horford today is 0 for 7, scoreless in the game. Pull-up triple for Scotty Barnes is an air ball. Scotty this afternoon is 4 of 14 overall. He does have a double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds.
Well, he's only 3 for 6 if you take away the 1 of 8 from 3. He's shooting 50% without the threes.
The Raptors are 6 of 27 from distance, as Jaylen Brown drives on Ochai and takes him with him right to the rim and dunks in his grill on a two-hand slam to put Boston up by 17, their largest lead. Timeout, Toronto.
Really strong move by Jaylen Brown. Interesting, Kevin Scott standing there looking at him stare down Ochai and not calling a taunting foul. I just will reference inconsistencies, Eric.
We'll step aside for the break. 7:26 to go in the third quarter. 61-44 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
At Tangerine, we're fans of fans who are invested in the game. Like Gary, who lies with reckless abandon every time he's invited out on game night, so he doesn't have to miss game night. Sorry, it's mating season for my pet squid. My e-scooter is out of gas. I ate a beanless burrito? My shoulder blade feels dull. I'm traveling to the 16th century? That's how Gary fans. And we're fans of Gary. This is how we fan. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors.
Boxing Week is on now at Freedom Mobile. Get 50 gigs to use in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico for just $35 a month for 18 months. Plus, get a one-time gift of 5 gigs of Roam Beyond data. Conditions apply. Details and more Boxing Week offers at freedommobile.ca.
From the chicken experts at Swiss Chalet, it's our new chicken parm. Hand-breaded, cheesy, delicious. And add a beverage for a chance to win a trip to Italy or California wine country. Our new chicken parm. Only $17.99, only at Swiss Chalet. Limited time, taxes extra. Visit SwissChalet.com for full details.
Direct! Greg Carrasco here, the Greg Carrasco. Big news. I am now the managing partner at Direct Nissan in Mississauga. For 30 years, you've trusted me to steer you right. So if you're one of my customers or you just love a great deal, come on down. You will laugh, you'll cry, and you might even drive away with a deal that will blow your mind. Direct Nissan. New vibe, same Greg. There is something happening here at directnissan.ca.
Direct! This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 7:26 to go in the third quarter, and the Raptors trail 61-44. Boston with their largest lead of the game, a 17-point advantage. Toronto shooting 32% from the floor. Boston at 41%. Raptors have given up 14 points off 13 turnovers. Toronto with only 14 points in the paint tonight. This after scoring over 70 in the paint in their previous game against the Celtics back in late November. So well, certainly a different script thus far this afternoon.
Yeah, Eric, they really kind of have been enticed into the game that Boston wants them to play. You can't beat somebody at their own game.
Raptors with the ball out of the timeout. Scotty Barnes, right to left, around the perimeter, over to Mitchell. Now it's Battle. Battle now driving on the far side, goes back on the perimeter to Mitchell. Inside the arc, on the far side, on the baseline, a little drop-off pass to Scotty. Skips through defenders and lays it up and in.
Oh, Scotty, really, really nice move on the baseline coming from the dunker spot on the far side. And, hey, if they're not going to call it, Scotty did a great job of using the Jamal Crawford step, the Iverson step, the travel to to lay it in.
Far sideline triple no good for Jason Tatum. Raptors sprinting down the floor off the rebound. Mitchell over on the far sideline to Battle, who had to jump high to save it. Gets it to Brown. Back over to Davion. Dribbling into the paint. Backdoor cut to Scotty. And he bobbled the pass. Lost it. Raptors turn it over again. Here comes Derek White. Drop-off pass to Jaylen Brown. Lays it up and in. Boston again by 17. 63-46. Approaching the midway point of the third quarter. Barnes, guarded by Holiday. Inside the arc, far side. Then turns and steps through and lays it up and in. Pretty footwork there from Scotty.
Well, he's gotten off the three, and all of a sudden his shooting percentage is coming up, and the Raptors are at least scoring.
Celtics whip it around the perimeter, and it nets a triple open on the far side for Drew Holiday. 18-point advantage, largest of the game, 66-48. Bruce Brown, 6 points off the bench in 13 minutes, gives it up to Pirtle. Straight away covered by Horford. On the perimeter now, giving it up to Davion Mitchell over to Brown. Brown driving into the paint, stops on a dime, turns on Derek White, who got a block. He got a piece of that shot from Bruce, and Boston comes away with the ball, looking for a 20-point lead. Boston started 0 of 7 from distance and now shooting over 50%, Jonesy. Since then, 13 for their last 25.
Well, they just keep hoisting them. And when you play Boston, you have to have the intensity and the consistency to continue to push up and guard and contest on the three. And if you're able to, as the Raptors showed early, those three-point misses become turnovers.
Boston leading 66-48. They work it around to Pritchard on the near side in the corner to Hauser. Hauser now goes back up top to Holiday. Shot clock down to 4. Holiday driving. Goes right to left over on the perimeter. On the sideline, Pritchard with a 3. And Boston leads by 21. Peyton Pritchard off the bench with 15. Including 5 triples.
That's all he does.
And Toronto turns it over again on the offensive end.
We talk about KYP knowing your personnel. That's what he's going to do, Peyton Pritchard. He's not putting it on the floor. He's not driving. And if he does drive, it's only to collapse the defense to kick it out.
And back the other way off the 15th turnover. Jason Tatum drives down Main Street, misses a left-hand scoop, but he was fouled by Barnes. And they're going to get the foul on Bruce Brown on a reach. Either way, it's 2 free throws for Jason Tatum. And he goes to the line and misses. Check that. Did he hit it? Yeah, he did. Hit the first one to increase the lead to 70-48. And now looking for some sort of a solution. Darko Rajakovic turns to youngster and Canadian A.J. Lawson and says, you get out there, see what you can do. Tatum knocks down the second. It increases the lead to 23 for the Celtics. Shed right to left. Over on the far side, Lawson misses the triple back rim, checks into the game, and hoists the 3 ball.
Nothing like getting a little lather up before you get in there.
And Boston does the same on the other end, but they hit the shot. Hauser knocks it down, and Boston has increased the lead to 26.
Well, they're playing their game, Boston. They've continued to stay with their game plan of shooting the 3, and as much as the Raptors were challenging at the beginning of the game, their fortitude to do that is they seem to have dipped, and Boston keeps knocking them down.
74-48. The Raptors trail with 4:21 to go in the third on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Sam had aspirations of opening a clothing boutique. She called Alpine Credits and was sent a speedy superhero to help with a business loan. Super speed doesn't translate to radio, but when our hero runs, she sounds like this. If you ran at the speed of light, you'd sound funny too. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Fisker license 12616.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with
Hey you, the Raptors fan that's already an insider, 67,031 subscribers in this amazing Toronto sports community. And normally I would say, hey, if you're new, hit the sub button, hit the bell, turn it on, whatever. Not today. It's New Year's Eve. We're pushing for 68,000 today with 4 streams on New Year's Eve and then 4 again on New Year's Day. So thank you. We'll see what this number ends up on after the first tomorrow. But let's close out 2024 strong. Happy New Year's to all of you hanging out with us and to all of you who have subscribed and become insiders. Cheers. Now let's get back to the basketball, the football, the hockey, and all of the sports here on TSI.
Back, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 4:21 to go, third quarter, 74-48. Raptors trailing by 26 points. Jonesy, I don't even know how to paint this any more than sounding like completely Captain Obvious, but clearly not the way you want to be walking into 2025 off 11 straight losses and the last handful not even close. The Raptors early in the season, we kept talking about the battle they were showing in a lot of games, but of late, they have been blowout loss after blowout loss, and the numbers continue to look as bad or worse on a game-to-game basis.
Well, and I think some of the stuff is, as you pointed out, Eric's playing some high-scoring teams, but some of the stuff is the effort, the attention to detail that the Raptors can control themselves, and they're not doing that.
Jamison battle far side, misses a 3-ball. A.J. Lawson with the rebound, fires out to Bruce Brown. He missed a triple, tracking it down, though. Battle got to the tin, blew the layup on a putback, and Toronto walks away empty. Now 6 of 30 from distance. That's 20%, shooting only 31% overall. And they give up a deuce to Cornette on the other end. He was right around the rim, softly laid it in with one hand, and the Raptors trail by 28. Shed along the baseline, bumped twice by Hauser, no call, kicks out to Olynyk. 3-ball is good. Raptors down 76-51.
A nice job there by Shed. I thought he did a nice job of attacking Hauser. You know, these guys that are on the floor strictly for their three-point shooting, guys like Hauser and Pritchard, you've got to attack them. When you see them on the defensive end in front of you, you've got to break them down, put the defense in rotation, and force them to pay for not being able to guard you. Make them guard you.
Tatum is fouled going down Main Street. The foul is called against Kelly Olynyk off the bench tonight. Olynyk with 5 points and a rebound. That was his first foul as Tatum goes to the stripe. Started the game just 1 of 6, but trying to find a little bit of life here. Now 4 of 10 and making a little bit of hay at the free throw line, where he has now been 10 times, his 11th coming up in mere moments. And he has, in spite of the numbers not looking great, a team high 16 points. And he's second on the club with 7 rebounds, now 17 points as the second free throw goes in as well. 78-51, Raptors trailing with 3:10 to go in the third. Jamal Shed whips it in the paint to Bruce Brown. Brown covered by Derek White. Turns, fires a one-hand floater, no good. Olynyk couldn't get to the rebound. It's taken away by Hauser. Fires it over to Pritchard across center. Pritchard spinning past Bruce Brown. Whips the pass into the corner to Derek White. And White is fouled by Bruce Brown, and that was a frustration call.
Sure it was.
As Brown was fouled on the other end by White. No whistle came, and now he's given an earful
to Jonathan Butler.
John Butler.
And he's not cussing him or anything. He just looked and said, "That's a foul. That's a foul." And Eric, I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to go back to the numbers. Yeah, the Raptors foul more than any other team, but those numbers, which are quantifiable, are based on qualitative judgments by the officials.
78-51, Celtics leading by 27 points with 2:54 to go in the third quarter as Derek White goes to the line for the first time and misses the first free throw. Scotty Barnes and Chris Boucher checking back into the ballgame for the Raptors. It's Barnes, Brown, Shed, Boucher, and Olynyk. Tatum, White, Pritchard, Hauser, and Cornette. for the Raptors and Celtics, respectively, as White hits the second free throw. It's 79-51, 28-point lead, matching the largest of the game for Boston. Barnes out to Brown, who drives into the paint, scoops it up, missed the shot, rolls off the rim into the hands of the Celtics. They're looking to go up 30-plus right here. Tatum backing up towards center, looking to go at Shed. Now passes off to Cornette, back to Tatum, good look at a three, knocked it down on a frozen rope. 31-point advantage. Boston this quarter shooting 8 of 10 from the perimeter. The Raptors are 1 of 8 as Olynyk tried to drive and lay it up, missed the shot, rolls off the rim again, and Boston comes the other way. It's Pritchard weaving through traffic, down around the baseline, still keeping that dribble alive as he hands it off to Hauser for 3, and a 9th triple in the quarter for Boston.
Like I said, they just keep firing away, and you've got to have the perseverance to keep guarding them.
Toronto has 7 all game. Boston has 9 in the quarter and 17 for the game. That's an advantage of 30 on the perimeter. Payton takes the ball away from the Raptors. Toronto comes back the other way, though. They try to get it back from Boston, but the Celtics grab the ball, and then Tatum blows the layup.
After he traveled.
And now Boucher looked like he might have been fouled on the near sideline, but they say no, it's just a ball out of bounds off Boston, as they call it cleanly being knocked away. Raptors keep the ball with 19 on the shot clock, trailing 85-51. 51 points, Jonesy, with 1:23 to go in the third quarter.
That's not good. I'm going to have to check what the season low might be, but Raptors still not doing themselves any favor with 16 turnovers.
They've given up 18 points off those 16 turnovers. Scotty Barnes, 6 of 16 in this ball game, backs up on the perimeter. Now trying to go at Cornette. Went right, spins left, turns, fires. Too strong on the jumper. Back rim came out. Tatum has it. He'll bring it across center for Boston, finding Derek White. Back to a cutting Tatum. Ball knocked away by Olynyk, and it looked like Kelly knocked it off Tatum's hands out of bounds, but the officials are saying it's Boston ball.
This is where the perception comes into it. Good challenge by Darko. Good challenge. It's a... Again, I think a perception or just an automatic, and like I said, not the strongest crew today with, Evan Scott and Jonathan Butler. Really, I know, not disparaging anybody, but it's my opinion from watching games. And folks, if you think I just kind of watch a game here or there, I'm watching 6 or 7 games at one time on League Pass on any given night, flipping channels and watching 2 or 3 screens in front of me.
We're going to keep it here with the Raptors trailing 85-51, 58.8 seconds to play. Jonesy, let me deal with not the calendar year, because then we're bridging last year to this year and whatever else, but over the opening 30-plus games here for the Raptors. And this might sound a little bit silly to say, but hey, at the end of the day, whether you're a good team or a bad team, a struggling team or a championship team, you still do have guys that play hard, play well, and have strong seasons. So I'll ask you, who's been Toronto's either MVP or best player, the best player for the Raptors thus far over the first 30 games?
RJ Barrett.
I agree.
And I really think the Raptors should be, I know they're 7-25, but they should be trying to convince coaches, because he's not going to get in on a vote, that this guy should be at least looked at if there's injuries or whatever for an all-star.
Replay official confirms that Tatum caused the ball to go out of bounds. Therefore, the challenge is successful. Toronto will be charged a timeout and will not be able to challenge the remainder of the game because it was their second challenge.
Well, at least I know I'm not blind. As I said, I thought it was off.
Well, and isn't it too bad that Darko had to use both of his challenges on out-of-bounds calls that should have been pretty should be relatively easy to call if you're at that level. And my thing is, if you have to use your challenge for an out-of-bounds call that the referee missed, it shouldn't count. If you challenge a foul and the judgment, okay, fine. But an out-of-bounds call, no.
Raptors down 85-51. Shed trying to shake free from Pritchard. Went right, spins left-hand scoop, missed it. Beautiful move, but just couldn't finish. Pritchard back the other way. Stops on a dime, leans back toward the block, far side. Got it to go up and over Scotty Barnes. He has had a fabulous season, Peyton Pritchard. Raptors down 36, far corner. Bruce Brown whips it over on the perimeter to Shed. Down on the block to Barnes, lays it in.
Bruce Brown passed up a layup to kick it out to Jamal Shed.
87-53. Last shot time for the Celtics with 17 seconds to go in the quarter. The shot clock is off. Pritchard on the logo at center. Bruce Brown in front of him. Tatum out on the far side. Dips behind Cornette. Now at the far elbow. Now steps back onto the perimeter. Fires a three and buries it. Man, he started slow, but he has come alive big time in this frame. How many triples in this quarter for the Boston Celtics? My goodness. 18 of 37 in the game. And at the half, they were 8 of 25. Boston goes 10 of 12 from the perimeter in the quarter and goes into the fourth with a blistering 90-53 lead.
They keep shooting the three. That's their MO. And kind of like that relief pitcher who comes in the ninth inning and he's the closer. He's not trying to trick you. He's rearing back and he's throwing it 100 miles an hour. He say, here it comes, hit it.
We'll be back with the fourth quarter next on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and...
We the North! We the North! We the North! Come on, Raptors, let's go! Let's turn it around! 2024 has come to an end. Please let us know where you're ringing in the new year with us here on the Raptors stream on TSI. Let us know in the chat. City and province, city and state, your flag emoji for your country. Let's see those Canadian flags. And all over the world. Now let's get back to the basketball. Come on, Raptors. 10 straight losses. We got to do something about that. We'll see you. Go, Raptors, go.
Offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
The Home Construction Regulatory Authority regulates the people and companies who build and sell new homes in Ontario. If you're thinking about buying a new home or condo, make sure your builder is licensed. To learn more, visit hcraontario.ca.
The Sport Check Boxing Day event is on now. Take 20 to 60% off store-wide on the top brands in sport. Sale ends January 1st. See in-store or sportcheck.ca for more details. Some exclusions may apply. Sport Check. Say it with sport.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back, Eric Smith. Paul Jones with you. We start the fourth quarter, and the Raptors are down big. Boston starts with the ball. They outscored Toronto by a lot in the third quarter. 45-18, Jonesy. And they start the fourth quarter with another triple to increase their lead to 40.
Got to be up on him. It's all I can say. Sam Hauser's not going to go inside the three-point line unless he's leaving the floor to go to the bench.
I'm going to give folks a partial taste of, or a partial glimpse of the conversation we had off air about an hour ago. Raptors down 40. Scotty Barnes missing the jumper. Barnes now 7 of 19 in the ball game with a team-high 16 points and team-high 13 rebounds. A minute into the fourth quarter, Boston leading by 40, make it 42 as Pritchard finds Keita, who lays it in. This is the portion of the conversation. The Raptors, by all accounts, we knew they were going to struggle even if they were healthy this year. I mean, on media day, Jakob Poeltl, who just got the bucket, used the word rebuild, as did the president and general manager, Masai Ujiri. Right?
Yep.
All that said, 4 rookies are playing. Injuries have piled up. A young team and an experienced team, a second-year coach, a club that's had one of the hardest schedules in the league, a team that has struggled away from home with only 1 victory on the season away from Scotiabank Arena. Add that all up. Throw it all in the pot. Mix it up. At what point, Jonesy, do you start looking at, if at all, the makeup of the roster, the coach, the coaching staff, anything from between when you've lost 11 games in a row, you're regularly now losing games by 20, 30, 40 points. You're not even close in games. At what point do you say this is not just a team that's losing, this is a team that's lost its identity and that seems to have lost its fight or its will, which is something that both the coach and the star player have either had to or needed to or wanted to address in recent days?
I think it depends on how you view your timetable. If you knew this was coming, you're just going to have to get through it. If you and it's around the expectations. Like I said, the Sacramento Kings just made themselves look foolish by firing the coach of the year a year and a half ago and a guy who had them break a 16-year playoff drought. Obviously, their expectations after undergoing a 5-6 game losing streak were such that they thought they should be doing better. Well, I'm sure the Raptors thought they should be doing better than this, but you also have to look at the circumstances, and adversity is a good teacher. So maybe you just have to kind of get through this, as it were. I don't think you look at anything but yourself and try to refine your habits around improvement. Get to the gym earlier. Talk more. Demand more of yourselves and your teammates. Hey, if you're going to make a cake, you got to break some eggs. And I just think the Raptors need to continue to do that.
Replacing number 30, Sam Hauser.
Well, over the course of the 60 seconds or so that we were having that conversation, Sam Hauser hit another 3-ball in the near corner. He's got 12 off the bench. He's now on the bench as Boston has gone deep into their second and third units with a 44-point lead. It's 156 with 8:50 to go. And Darko Rajakovic currently has his entire starting lineup on the floor.
Well, in case you're wondering, it would be one of the worst 5 losses in Raptors history. And by the way, 2 of them came last year, by 48 to Minnesota and by 44 to the Knicks.
Raptors stay down 44 as Walsh misses for Boston. Raptors battling for the rebound.
Eric, remember the other night we were on the air, we were talking about kind of throwing it back to Damon Stoudemire and some of the tough games, and I referenced a game in Seattle.
Yep.
January 15th, 1997. Toronto Raptors at Seattle Supersonics, 122-78.
Well, that 44-point loss then is what's being matched right now as Chris Boucher misses a sideline 3-ball in front of his own bench, and Boston gets the rebound. Peyton Pritchard brings it across center. 8 minutes to go in the ball game. Boston leading 156. Peterson to Walsh, hoists one up, and it's another triple for the Celtics, who are shooting a blistering 21 of 42 as Toronto just turned it over for a 20th time in this game. And Keita just skipped through traffic, dunked it down, and Boston is embarrassing Toronto right now. Let's be frank. Mitchell to Walter. Walter with a nice move there on Peterson. Draws in defenders, kicks out to Boucher for three, knocks it down far side. Raptors down 105-59.
Still got to fight, still got to try and play the right way. You're on evaluation by your team and by everybody else. I mean, the trade deadline's coming up.
Toronto fouls on number 24, Bruno Fernando. That's his first. Team first.
105-59.
Toronto, Jamal Shed and Jameson.
Raptors trailing with 7:04 to go in the ball game. Davion Mitchell got the start this afternoon. He's checking out with 9 points, 3 assists, and a couple of rebounds. Ochai Agbaji sits down. Rough afternoon for Ochai. 1 of 7, 2 points. On the floor for the Raptors, Walter, Shed, Boucher, Battle, and Fernando. Boston turns it over, coming the other way. Walter tried to scoop it up and in. It's wiped out by Keita at the rim. The block for Boston gives the Celtics the ball. And Toronto continues to struggle, shooting just 30% in the game, trailing by 46 with 20 turnovers. Walsh on the near sideline, dips around the screen, set by Keita, skips into the lane, and scoops it up and in. Pretty move there from Walsh.
Yeah, it was a good, nice move by Jordan Walsh, continuing to persist and get to the basket.
Shed frees himself straight away, left the jumper short from 20 feet off the front of the rim, picked up by Boston. Here comes Walsh, cross court, right to left, over to Pritchard, who hit the three, but not before the whistle blew. Away from the ball, there's going to be a foul called, and that wipes out the three for Pritchard. Walter is called for a foul. It'll be Boston ball, and I believe we've got a timeout on the floor. 6:14 to go in the ball game. 107-59 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans. What would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
The Nissan Winter Ready event was so successful that High Park Nissan, Willowdale Nissan, and Newmarket Nissan are putting Boxing Day incentives in effect now. Incredible savings on Nissan's complete lineup, combined with no-hassle trade evaluations, make this holiday the time to give yourself the gift of a shiny new Nissan that won't require your finances go on a diet in January. Once again, it's High Park, Willowdale, or Newmarket for Nissan.
Ontario is building up our nursing workforce. Since 2018, nearly 100,000 new nurses have registered to work in Ontario. Last year, we added a record of over 18,000 new nurses, with another 30,000 nursing students in school. We're investing millions in new programs that pay for nurses' education and breaking down barriers so they can get to work sooner. Learn more at ontario.ca/yourhealth. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. 6:14 to go in the fourth quarter. 107-59. Raptors trailing big time to the Boston Celtics in a game that certainly got away from Toronto after we could say after the first quarter. That said, the Raptors did show a little bit of fight in the second quarter. They won the second quarter 23-22. And a buzzer-beating three ball was the difference between a 7-point game and a double-digit lead, Jonesy, at the half. It was Drew Holiday that hit that three ball that sent the Celtics into the break with a 10-point lead instead of what could have been a 7-point lead. But then the Celtics put the foot down in a big-time way in the third quarter. They outscored the Raptors 45-18, shooting a blistering 14 of 19 from the floor overall. That's 74%, including 10 of 12 from distance, 83%, while the Raptors went 1 of 9 from the perimeter on 8 of 24 overall. And that was it. Good night. See you later. Raptors now down by 40 plus, almost 50, as we hit the midway point of the fourth quarter. Boucher, corner three in the near corner, missed it. Down low, Battle got it, but he's blocked by Tillman. He gets that ball back, keeping the possession alive. Driving, Mobo on the baseline, gives it up to Boucher near side. He comes along the baseline, goes far corner to Battle, who buries the three ball in front of his own bench.
A good basketball there. Boucher and Battle calmly, even with people running at him, did a nice job.
107-62. Walsh down Main Street, lays it in.
Well, Battle fought over the screen, but when you fight over the screen, you've got to reestablish position with your nose in the man's chest.
Shed spinning. Who came down with the ball, tried to elevate, thought he was fouled, no call, gave it up and loses the ball on a 21st turnover of the game. 109-62. Boston leading. They've got the ball right now. Springer has it. Out to Tillman. Tillman with Shed in front of him. They go around on the far side. Cutoff was Peterson.
Well, it's the same thing, Eric. Mobile fights over the screen, and you're trailing when you're fighting over the screen, but you've got to work harder to reestablish position to get back in front of the guy with your nose, as I said, in his chest, looking at the word Celtics. You can't be on his shoulder or on his hip. Beside is no good.
Well, and that's where I said Jonesy cut off, Peterson was, but it didn't matter because he just stopped for a moment, leaned back, and hit the shot.
Yep.
To the point you were just making. They didn't finish the play. Back on the other end, Boucher is fouled trying to go to the rim. And the foul will come in against Keita. Chris goes to the line, knocks down the first free throw. Off the bench, he's got 6 points. 111-63. Raptors down with 4:32 to go in the ballgame. Boston brings it across center. Peterson has it on that low go at center. Covered by Mobile. Comes around the screen set by Keita. Goes over to Walsh straight away. Walsh now trying to shake free from Battle. Far corner. Gave it up. And then fouled on a drive attempt was Springer. And we'll stay here. It's going to be Battle who picks up the foul. That'll be his second. Now 4:11 to go in the ballgame. 111-64 is the score. Boston getting it in the near corner. It's Springer in the paint to Keita. Went right, spins back left. Mobile got hands on it. They don't blow the whistle as Keita falls to the floor. Mobile wrapped it up again, and now we do have a jump ball coming.
I like what Mobile's been able to give Toronto on and on the floor and on and off the ball in terms of his defense. I think the next stage in the development for him is to work on his offense to the point where he becomes more of a threat. He often gets into the paint, gets into the lane, and looks to pass rather than finishing.
Celtics win the jump, and it ends up right in the hands of Tillman, who tips it in down low, laid it in softly. Raptors come back the other way with a triple from Jamison Battle. 113-67. 46-point lead. It was 49 moments ago. Peterson. Left to right over to Walsh on the far side. Faked the pass. Drives on Battle. Got into the lane. Hit by Boucher, and he's going to go to the free throw line.
Interesting, the call made by the slot official, Jonathan Butler, with the underneath official standing right there.
So Walsh goes to the stripe, spins the ball in his hands, fires the first free throw. It's good. All right, Jones, I got another one for you for the season awards, I suppose. Best defender. Something we haven't really seen a lot of defense lately over the last few games, but the Raptors have had some decent individual performances over the course of many of their games as Walsh misses the second free throw, but the Celtics get the rebound, and Keita puts it in.
Interesting.
Got a few options. I know who I'd pick. Battle in the lane. Fires out to Shed on the far sideline. 3-ball, no good. Rebound to the Celtics. They push ahead. Getting behind the defense. Dunking it down is Springer. And Boston has increased the lead to 50+.
Best defender, when he's motivated, when he's healthy, I would say Scotty. But Jakob Poeltl has been a stalwart in there. When I look at this season only, I'm looking at some of these young guys. I'm looking at Davion Mitchell. I'm looking at Shed. I'm looking at Mobo. So there's definitely potential there.
Walsh missed a dunk. That would have been a massive poster, but he came up empty, and the Raptors pick up the loose ball, still down by 51. 2:15 to go in the ball game. My answer would have been Mitchell. I think Shed would have got some love from me, but I'd say Davion Mitchell.
Well, the one thing I will say about Davion is it's in his mindset.
Yeah, in the DNA.
It's in his DNA. He wants to defend, and he takes great pride in it. And he understands that he can impact the game defensively, even if his offense isn't going.
Guys, are we keeping it here with the timeout to the Raptors with 2:12 to go? No, we're going to step aside for a quick break. We'll maybe do another award when we come back with the Raptors down big on Toronto Raptors basketball. Brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
We interrupt your holiday listening pleasure to bring you an important bulletin. You could be doing exactly what you're doing right now, but with bottomless bevies on a beach in paradise. With Sunwing's big Boxing Week savings, you can choose between literally hundreds of all-inclusive vacation packages that offer big value for low prices. Take it from us. We've been here since last year's sale. Hey, get away from my fries. Oh yeah, book with your local travel advisor or at...
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 2:12 to go in the ball game. It's 118-67. The Raptors, Jonesy, are trailing by 51. Got that list handy still there with the all-time worst losses?
That's the top right now.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, it's
48 is the worst ever?
48 is the worst. And now you're fighting not to be a statistic.
So right now, not including today's game.
You know what? I hear something in the background, and thank God we're not in Boston.
Gino?
Gino's on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Gino's dancing.
And by the way, for people that are unaware, and Eric and I saw Gino way too much in about 2010, 2011. Gino is a guy that looks like something out of John Travolta Saturday Night Fever, wearing an undershirt.
He's wearing a Gino Vanelli concert T-shirt.
Yes,
dancing to that song.
He's got the hair. He's got the coif.
Yeah.
The hair back, the kind of quasi mullet, and he's dancing to the Bee Gees. You Should Be Dancing.
Yeah.
And I'm told they only play Gino when they're up by more than 20 inside the last timeout. of the fourth quarter.
And Kevin Garnett used to dance along and have a huge smile on his face looking up at the scoreboard when Gino would make his appearance. And I do believe if you Google it as well, I think, I could be dead wrong about this, but they either tracked down the dude that was wearing that T-shirt back in the mid to late 70s and had an interview with him, or they also had an interview with Gino Vanelli, who didn't know anything about this because he really has nothing to do with it other than the fact that this guy just happens to be wearing his T-shirt.
Right.
Boston gets a layup from Walsh after the Raptors turned it over for a 21st time, and the lead has now increased to 53 with 1:26 to go.
Gino Vanelli is 72 years old. And he's Canadian too, right?
I feel like I'm 72 after today.
And he's Canadian too. He was born in Montreal, Quebec.
Wasn't he Wild Horses? Wild horses could not drag me away.
Yeah.
120-67. Oh, man. Floater in the lane is good for Jamal Shed. It's a 51-point lead. That's basically what we're counting to, because of what I was about to say to you a couple moments ago. Entering action today, the Raptors have had the worst stretch in terms of points surrendered in over 30 years in the NBA. Since going back to 1990, this is the worst three-game stretch from any team in terms of points scored, given up. The Raptors nearly 500 points scored to their opponents.
Dubious.
That's the worst stretch in the NBA since Denver did it in the early 90s. Raptors down 123-69 after the three ball on the other end from Peterson was good. We're down to 37 seconds, and folks, we are going to see
the worst
history. Loss in franchise history. And this is only 2 games removed from the most points allowed in franchise history, which the Raptors surrendered to Memphis. Another bucket for Boston increases their lead to 56 points. Kata dunked it down with 20.4 seconds remaining. This will be the worst loss in franchise history, the largest margin of defeat.
Nothing to do if you're the Raptors, but try to get better.
Shamshay catches the pass from Battle, tried to alley-oop it and missed the dunk, but somehow the ball hit the rim, went straight up in the air, and came back down and in. The Raptors are down 125-71. Boston advances the ball, brings it across center. Peterson will dribble out the clock, and the Boston Celtics defeat the Toronto Raptors by 54 points. It is the largest margin of victory for a Raptor opponent in Toronto franchise history.
Yeah, it didn't start out well. I thought Toronto got seduced into playing Boston's game, and you can't beat them at their own game. They outscored them by 36 points from behind the arc and end up shooting 54%. Almost half of Boston's made field goals were threes, and more than, or just about half of their field goal attempts were 3 points.
125-71 the final. We'll step aside for the break, come back with our final thoughts, final stats, and then post-game coverage with Amit Mann. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
38 XM213 Internet 900, while the Timberwolves are on Internet 897. 9 p.m., Phoenix Suns play the Memphis Grizzlies. Suns are on Sirius 139 XM214 Internet 903, while the Grizzlies are on Internet 894. 9 p.m., Los Angeles Lakers play the Cleveland Cavaliers. Lakers are on Sirius 86 XM86 Internet 893, while the Cavaliers are on Internet 885. In NCAA basketball, at 12 p.m., Virginia takes on NC State. Virginia can be heard on XM and Internet 371, while NC State is on XM 380, Internet 970. At 2 p.m., Baylor takes on Utah. Baylor, it can be heard on XM 385, Internet 970, while Utah is on XM 384, Internet 974. At 2 p.m., Kansas versus West Virginia. Kansas on Sirius 162, XM 198, Internet 952, while West Virginia on XM 386, Internet 976. Kentucky faces off against Brown. Kentucky can be heard on Sirius 210, XM 201, Internet 963. Syracuse plays against Wake Forest. Syracuse on XM 388, Internet 978, with Wake Forest on XM 387, Internet 977. 2 p.m., Texas Tech against UCF. Texas Tech on XM 383, Internet 973. UCF on 382, 972. 2 p.m., Xavier against Seton. Xavier, XM 390, Internet 980. Seton, XM 389, Internet 979. 2:30, Georgia Tech against Notre Dame. Georgia Tech on XM 392, Internet 982. Notre Dame on XM 391, Internet 981. 3 p.m., Tennessee against Norfolk. Tennessee on Sirius 211, XM 192, Internet 962. 4 p.m., Air Force Falcons against UNLV Rebels. Air Force on XM 385, Internet 975. UNLV on XM 384, Internet 974. 4 p.m., BYU against Arizona State. BYU on Sirius XM Internet 143. Arizona State on XM 381, Internet 971. 4:30, Duke against Virginia Tech. Duke on Sirius 161, XM 193, Internet 955. Virginia Tech on XM 386, Internet 976. 5 p.m., San Jose State against Colorado State. Colorado on XM 388, Internet 978. 6 p.m., Providence against Marquette. Providence on XM 389, Internet 979. While Marquette on XM 206, Internet 968. 8 p.m., Fresno State against New Mexico. Fresno State on XM 391, Internet 980. New Mexico on XM 390, Internet 980. 8:30 p.m., Wyoming versus Boise State. Wyoming on XM 380, Internet 970. Boise State on XM 392, Internet 982. 10 p.m., Nevada against Utah State. Nevada on XM 382, Internet 972, while Utah State is on XM 381, Internet 971. In NCAA football, 12 p.m., Michigan against Alabama. Michigan on XM 372, Internet 372, while Alabama is on Sirius 106, XM 190, Internet 960. 2 p.m., Washington against Louisville. Louisville is on XM and Internet 371. 3 p.m., Illinois against South Carolina. Illinois is on Sirius XM Internet 82, while South Carolina is on Sirius 119, XM 191, and Internet 961. 3:30 p.m., LSU play Baylor. LSU is on XM and Internet 374. And finally, 7:30 p.m., Boise State against Penn State. Boise State is on Sirius XM Internet 84, while Penn State is on Sirius XM Internet 82.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM Channel 89.
For SiriusXM Sports, I'm Ryan Payton. Teemu Selanne is one of hockey's all-time greats. He played till he was 43, and over the 21 NHL seasons, he was a point-per-game player. Among his accomplishments, he was a 10-time All-Star, a Rocket Richard Trophy winner, a Stanley Cup champion, and he won the Calder Trophy as Rookie of the Year in 92-93, and what a season that was. He was 22, he was playing with the Jets and in North America for the first time. At the end of the season, he had 132 points, including 76 goals. That smashed Mike Bossy's record of 53 for most by a player in a rookie season. The way Selanne set the record became perhaps the most iconic moment of his career. He did it with a hat trick in front of the home fans in Winnipeg against Quebec and proceeded to throw his glove in the air and pretend to shoot it with his stick. He would go on to spend the next 2 decades playing his way into the hearts of hockey fans all around North America, and was one of the rare stars who even fans of rival teams didn't have anything bad to say about. By the end of his career, when that was done, he was one of the most universally beloved players to ever play the game of hockey. Teemu Selanne, if he probably wanted to, he would have played another 2-3 years, but he knew his time was done. But what a time it was in the NHL. Teemu Selanne, the Finnish Flash, one of the best. For SiriusXM Sports, I'm Ryan Payton.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio. SiriusXM 86.
I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM sports schedule for Tuesday, December 31st. All times are Eastern, so please remember all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NBA, 3 p.m., the Indiana Pacers play the Milwaukee Bucks. Pacers are on Sirius 86, XM 86, Internet 891, while the Bucks are on Internet 896. 3 p.m., the Boston Celtics play the Toronto Raptors. Celtics are on Sirius 167, XM 167, Internet 881, while the Raptors are on Internet 907. 7 p.m., the San Antonio Spurs play the Los Angeles Clippers. Spurs are on Sirius 137, XM 212, Internet 906, while the Clippers are on Internet 892. 8 p.m., Oklahoma City Thunder are against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Thunder are heard on Sirius 138, XM 213, Internet 900, while the Timberwolves are on Internet 897. 9 p.m., Phoenix Suns play the Memphis Grizzlies. Suns are on Sirius 139, XM 214, Internet 903, while the Grizzlies are on Internet 894. 9 p.m., Los Angeles Lakers play the Cleveland Cavaliers. Lakers are on Sirius 86, XM 86, Internet 893, while the Cavaliers are on Internet 885. In the NHL, at 12:30 p.m., the Washington Capitals take on the Boston Bruins. You can listen to the Capitals on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 950, and the Bruins on Internet 921. At 1 p.m., the Toronto Maple Leafs take on the New York Islanders. The Maple Leafs are on Sirius 91, XM 91, and Internet 946, and the Islanders are on Internet 937. At 3 p.m., the Vegas Golden Knights take on the Montreal Canadiens. You can hear the Golden Knights on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 949, and the Canadiens on Internet 934. At 5 p.m., the Chicago Blackhawks will face off against the St. Louis Blues. The Blackhawks will be on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 925, and the Blues will be on Internet 944. At 8 p.m., the Colorado Avalanche will take on the Winnipeg Jets. The Avalanche will be on XM 201 and Internet 926. At 8 p.m., the Minnesota Wild will be facing off against the Nashville Predators. You can hear the Wild on XM 220.